Welcome back to Dad Mafia. It's Kevy Kev. Dad Mafia is a group of dads of all races, religions, creeds, nationalities, languages, old dads, young dads, expecting dads, adoptive dads, dads with young kids, dads with old kids, girl dads, boy dads. This is a community where we give dad tips and talk about our dad's-ities, and today we're going to talk about dadgression. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. We're going to talk about the time where you maybe had to fucking let Papa Bear out of the cage to protect your young. I want to tell you guys a story about a time where I had to, not proud of what happened, but it had to happen. I had to cuss out a fucking 50-year-old neighbor, man. And it was a she, and I'm not bragging about cussing out my female 50-year-old neighbor, but when it comes to your little youngin', man, you gotta do what you gotta do. And there was a situation where I live is hot as fuck, right? So when the baby was on its way, we moved into a building on our same block, and it had central air. And most places don't have central air here. They have like the little wall units, and sort of the equivalent of a window unit in the States, but a wall unit. I don't know how they fucking work really. But so this building was like kind of the nicest building on our block, and the doorman of our building said one day, "Hey, there's an apartment open, let me show it to you." I was like, all right, go, and it's fucking nice, man. It was definitely a price increase, but it was fucking nice, really open layout, central air, and I was like, you know what? The baby was on its way, and I was like, let's do this and be as comfortable as possible during the remainder of the pregnancy and during his first few months, you know what I mean? And I wanted to, I was a new dad, obviously, and I was like, I know it's gonna be difficult, and so I want to take out every other little challenging factor. And one of those where I live is it's hot as fuck, and so I was like, I want to be comfortable. I want the mom to be comfortable. I want him to be comfortable when he arrives. So we move into this spot with central air, and that's going to be important as the story progresses. So we had a neighbor that lived in the downstairs unit. We lived on the second floor, and the neighbor in the downstairs unit was kind of like a studio unit. It was one apartment per floor, so first, second, third, fourth, 4 stories. So we're on the second floor. The downstairs unit was like a studio unit, and the neighbor was like this Peruvian lady, and she said she like worked, you know what I mean, with her, but she was like ethnically Japanese, but she was born and raised in Peru, and she and her son sold cars. She like worked with her son's car dealership or something. And she was kind of real solitary. She would socialize with the doorman a lot and walk her little dog around and smoke and stuff like that. Walk around the little parking area and smoke, and stand outside the building and smoke. Always kind of frumpy, man, like in her pajamas, you know what I mean? And never really paid much attention to her. Always say hi to her stuff. She would always smile and say hi or whatever. And maybe when the baby was like a year or something, man, I walk into his nursery one day, and it smelled so motherfucking bad, man. I was like, is there something burning or something? I thought there was something on fire. And I get to like smelling it, man, and it's like stale cigarette smoke. Stale ass cigarette smoke, man. Like when you walk into somebody's house that, you know what I mean, like there's smoke for a long time. In his fucking nursery's room smelled like a damn ashtray. And it was disgusting, man. It was disgusting. I'm like, hold the fuck up, man. Like, that it was obvious what had happened, but it smelled so bad at first, I didn't even recognize that it smelled like burnt rubber or burnt, I was actually worried that there was something on fire, like there was a burning cables or something, you know what I mean? And then I got to thinking like, oh, that's fucking cigarette smoke. And I smoked for a long time. I'm an ex-smoker. I quit 5 years ago. So and I still enjoy when someone's smoking a little square around me. I'll take a whiff and I like it, but I don't like nasty, you know what I mean, like ashtray smell. Nobody likes that. Even smokers don't like that. So I'm like, obviously the central air, the way the ducts are configured is that this smoke is rising up, you know, and I got to thinking about the layout of the building, and it made sense that his nursery was right above her little unit. So I, you know, immediately go down to like the door, there's like 24-hour concierge doormen, like kind of security, you know what I mean? And there was always one at night and there was two during the day. And so I think the main person, I forget if I just asked at first, like, no, because I knew she smoked. And I think I waited until the next day, until like the main door person was there. And I said, hey, because look, man, I smoked. I get it. I fucking get it. I used to love smoking. And I can't even imagine now all the people that I grossed out smoking next to them and stuff like that. You know, people don't like it. So I had a lot of empathy for her, because also she's you know, getting older in life, and she lives by herself, and she smokes, man. Like, that's her only little, you know, joy in life. And so I didn't want to, you know, confront her and make her feel bad, because also she might fucking be wanting to quit. And I know how hard it is to quit, man. It took me a long time to quit. It took me multiple attempts. It took me a long time to quit, man. It took me multiple bullshit attempts and then even more serious attempts. And I finally quit 5 years ago. And, you know, so I didn't want to like be definitely not judgmental and just definitely not hypocritical, because I know how awesome a cigarette is when you're a smoker. But damn, dude, damn. In your own, I never fucking smell. Rarely, in a closed apartment. When I lived back in the States, I lived in like an old building, and I would smoke. Sometimes I would kind of let it get out of control in the winter when it was too cold to go outside. But even then, man, I would be kind of leaning out the window smoking. But I wouldn't just hotbox my fucking apartment, man. She's sitting there with all her windows closed and the AC on, smoking hotbox in her studio apartment with cigarettes. What the fuck, man? That was just nasty. So I was like, that's not something I can ever relate to as a smoker. And so I go and ask him, and I was like, hey, man, like, she, you know, like, look, the baby's room is right upstairs from her. She's hotboxing her apartment with cigarette smoke. Could you ask her? Could you talk to her about it? Because I was trying to let her save face and not have me come and say like, hey, you know what I mean? Bro, so it kept going on and it kept going on. And I kept asking them, and they said that they did finally talk to her, you know what I mean? And then it kept happening. And then her little slick, dirty ass, like one time we went out of town and came back, and she kept doing it. No, I went out of town, and so she saw my car gone and thought we were all out of town, and did it again. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, man, I'm not fucking playing, man. This is my kid's room, and it's, first of all, it's displeasure. It's nasty. I don't like it. And if it's uncomfortable for me, imagine a little baby, man. He was like 1 and some change maybe at the time. Maybe it happened before he was 1, and then I forget when this little confrontation happened. But man, it was fucking uncomfortable, man. You know, when you got a situation where somebody's being a fucking unreasonable asshole, and it's either their feelings or your kid, man, fuck them. You know, in retrospect, I shouldn't have been as nice about it. I'm always too fucking nice. But I asked them several times to talk to her, and they didn't do it, and it kept happening. And like I said, her slick ass would try to do it, thinking I was out of town. You know what I mean? And so finally, man, one day my mom had came to visit from the States. I forget what the last so like he was definitely, it was before he was 1, because I still was carrying him in his little kangaroo pouch, the little dad pouch, like it's a little reverse backpack where you got him right here, and I would carry him like that a lot. And I think he was even fucking, yeah, man, this was fucked up. He was facing forward, because at a certain age they don't like to face you. When they're real little like that, you have them in a kangaroo like facing you, so they can feel that security. But then at a certain age, they're too curious, they want to face out and see what's going on. So he was maybe 9 months or something, and he's facing out. And I think the last straw was that they had told me it was our friend had come over, and the baby's mom had said like that she had said something. I think basically she got offended she knew we had reported her, and she got offended by that. And so somebody coming to visit us had parked in a way they shouldn't, and she was real, you know, just snapped at him in a disrespectful kind of way. And so I was like, you know what, this little witch is getting out of control, man. So I'm in the parking lot with the baby, and I said, hey, you know, I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? This is all in Spanish. And I said, I was like, te puedo pedir un favor? Can I ask you for a favor? And her little stupid ass is like, depends. So I already knew that the interaction was not gonna be favorable. And I was like, you know, I was like, hey, can you, you know, when you smoke, could you, I even started it super diplomatically. I said, when you smoke, could you open a window or something? And I was gonna just tell her, like, go, the fucking smoke wafts straight up into my baby's nursery. And she cut me off immediately and started, you know what I mean, getting way too close to me, close enough that the baby started crying, and just immediately got into the real aggressive mode and saying, this is my house and I can do whatever I want. And I was like, really, bitch? And so I turned the fucking baby around because the baby started crying, and I stupidly got sucked into her little energy on her terms. You know what I mean? It's okay to fucking have a fucking screaming match with some people sometimes, but it's not, they say never argue with an idiot, because from afar people won't be able to tell who's the idiot. So it was a little moment of that. The doorman luckily saw that she got up all, you know, and I was like, man, I got sucked into it. And so I kind of don't, that part I'm a little blurry on. I just remember turning the baby back around towards me and kind of stepping back, you know what I mean? And arguing with her, like, again, on her terms. And so, but I was fucking heated, man. I was heated. I was like, okay, man. And I'm not a guy that believes in, you know what I mean, solving stuff with violence, and especially not your elder and somebody, and that she's a female and stuff like that. But like, yo, that was way beyond, you know, way beyond what I was gonna tolerate, man. So I basically went upstairs, dropped the baby off, came back downstairs, and cussed her the fuck out, and had to get, you know, I didn't put my hands on her. I didn't fucking, like, you know what I mean? But I had to let her fuck know that she wasn't gonna smoke anymore, and she didn't. And when I came back downstairs, she was talking to the door people, you know what I mean? And I got back and I had to get a little street with her, and I'm like, yeah, you wanted to talk all that when I'm with the baby? I was like, what's up? And I was like, don't know. And I had to scream at her, man. I had to scream at her, because I'm not gonna tolerate you secondhand smoke inside my baby's nursery, man. And at one point I even had to go in her face, kind of like, yo, I was like, if you fucking smoke again, we're gonna have a fucking problem. You know what I mean? Just, God damn, some people are unreasonable, man. But it was stupid. It was stupid. I'm arguing with, that's how fucking mature you are. You know what I mean? So fuck that. And it was stupid, man. I'm 38 years old at the time, and my mom, bless her, came downstairs. So I'm like back in, thinking I'm like a teenager again. Arguing with somebody, cussing at somebody, and she's like, bro, come get, you know. And I'm like, no, leave her alone. And it was bad, man. And that dirty ass bitch, man, that's fucking toothless. She had smoked to the point where like her teeth are missing and stuff, man. Bad, man, bad. But anyways, point is, don't let people fuck with your kids in any indirectly, directly. But you know what I mean? Be smart about it. Because there's another story in that same building. We moved out of that building because I'll tell you another story about some different ass neighbors. You know what I mean? So anyways, this is Dad Mafia. This has been a story about dad aggression. Drop a comment and tell us a story about when you had to fucking just like let Papa Bear out of the cage. I'll see you guys next time.